بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is a continuation of the biography of the companion of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, the name Sidi Ali Harazim, radiallahu anhu. These readings um, come mostly from the book of Shaykh Ahmed Sukairaj, Kashf al-Hijab, the removal of the veil on the people who have met with Shaykh Ahmed Tijani, radiallahu anhu. In that book, Shaykh Ahmed Sukairaj notes that the number of companions of Shaykh Ahmed Tijani cannot be numbered, for during his time, many crowds of people came to him to take from him from the seen and unseen worlds. And it is also some of the people of inner insight, has said that the number of companions of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani matched the number of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ at 124,000. Of course, we cannot go through all of those, for we would tire ourselves for trying to tell the biography of all of them. For some are more, many are known and many are unknown. But there's there are many inheritance that has been given to Shaykh Ahmad Tijani from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in which with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam there are companions who were promised paradise. The 10 companions of the Prophet Sallallahu, who the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that they would be guaranteed paradise. He said that to them while they were alive. The same way it goes with Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. There were 10 who were promised by him that during their life they would receive the Fatul Akbar, the spiritual opening, the grand, great spiritual victory or opening during their lifetime, 10 of them. And the first that we must speak about is his Khalifa, his close companion, Sidi Ali Harazim. And as we continued, we said that Sidi Ali Harazim is the author of the book of the Tariqa Jawahir al-Mani, which is a dictation of teachings from Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. And that book was made at the order of not Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, but by the order of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in which he ordered Shaykh Ahmad Tijani to gather the notes that have been written from his teachings, from dictating that many of the companions of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani wrote down. He ordered them to combine it, for the knowledge in that book will be saved for those who came after. And this book has many, many qualities, and one of those books is that whoever reads this book and studies that book, he must come out of that book being a knower of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, a knower of Allah. And the biography of Sidi Ali Harazim would take many sections, so we are giving a brief section of this companion of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. And as we said in the previous audio, Sidi Ali Harazim, the Prophet ﷺ, told Shaykh Ahmad Tijani he had a special love for Sidi Ali Harazim and told him to take care of him with a special care, for the Prophet ﷺ loved him more than the love of a father has for a child. And he also said about Sidi Ali Harazim that he is to you, Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, what Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu was for me. The Prophet ﷺ told him that. And that is sufficient to mention regarding his biography. Shaykh Ahmad Tijani radiallahu anhu has said that he never seen the Prophet ﷺ order him to take care of someone the way he ordered him to take care of two individuals, Sidi Ali Harazim and also Sidi Muhammad Arabi the Marawi. And that is another companion of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani who we will go through his biography, inshallah, Sidi Muhammad Arabi the Marawi. Sidi Ali Harazim is not the first student of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, but he is his Khalifa and closest student. And he kept the companionship with Shaykh Ahmad Tijani throughout his life. There's a famous saying of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani that whoever has the grand opening, whenever they receive the grand opening, they must leave from where Shaykh Ahmad Tijani was settled at. There have been many descriptions of the meanings of this statement, that whoever reached the grand opening, this grand spiritual opening, they had to migrate away from Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. They couldn't be in the same area. And they asked Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, is this from yourself? And the Shaykh answered, no, it's not from me at all, but it's only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whenever any of the companions of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani received their opening, they were made to leave his companionship and travel to another area. When Sidi Ali Harazim used to ask about a certain level that he wanted to attain, a certain level in servanthood of being close to Allah, Shaykh Ahmad Tijani informed him that that maqam will be reached for him. He promised it for him, but it will come when he's at the Hijaz. When he left Shaykh Ahmad Tijani's companionship, he journeyed first to Tunisia. And while in Tunisia, he married a woman. And when he married that woman, after some time, they became divorced. And the people were very dumbfounded and surprised on why he divorced this particular woman, because the woman who he married had a very high status and was known to be from a very influential family. And that family that she came from was actually known to be a Sharif family, which was a descendant of the Prophet ﷺ. So when he divorced her, it was a big subject of gossip among people. And there's a story that there's a person who, while sitting with Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, this subject came across his mind, like why would this man who's known to be a close companion of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, why would he divorce a woman who is a Sharif? And this man is not a Sharif. He should be happy to marry from the family of the Prophet ﷺ, a descendant of the Prophet ﷺ. But he didn't ask the question, but he felt it inside of his heart. Like, why did Ali Harazim do that? While he was sitting with Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, Shaykh Ahmad Tijani went over to him, bent down, and told him in his ear, he divorced that woman because she did not make salat. He divorced the woman because she did not pray. And when he said that to him, he knew that Shaykh Ahmad Tijani was reading his heart, and he answered the question for him. While in Tunisia, Sidi Ali Harazim also met another. He gave the tariqah, and he gave it to what would later be one of the closest companions of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani also, and one of the most famous, who became the Mufti of Tunisia and the Sheikh al-Islam of the Zaytuna School and Mosque in Tunis, Tunisia, the Sheikh Ibrahim Riyahi. Sheikh Ibrahim Riyahi was one of the greatest of scholars during that time. He was known as one of the most knowledgeable of people in that area and at that time, and he has a large history of writing letters to the time ruler of Saudi Arabia during the rise of the Wahhabiyya movement. When the Wahhabiyya movement wrote letters to the West, the Maghreb, and Tunisia at that time, Ibrahim Riyahi was asked to reply to that letter. Those letters are very famous, and Ibrahim Riyahi is a well-known student of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, radiallahu anhu. He took the Tariqa Tijaniya from Sidi Ali Harazim when Sidi Ali Harazim was leaving Morocco after he had his opening. He went to Tunisia and spent a lot of time there. And the time he spent with Ibrahim Riyahi, he gave him the Tariqa. Ibrahim Riyahi saw many miracles from Sidi Ali Harazim and his knowledge, and those things will be gone over when we read the biography of Sidi Ibrahim Riyahi. And the name of Sidi Ali Harazim will continue to be mentioned through many of the companions, the same way as many of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. You cannot mention their biographies without mentioning Abu Bakr Siddiq, because of the work he did, how close he was with the Prophet ﷺ. It's the same with Sidi Ali Harazim, with many of the other companions of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. Whenever you hear their biographies, you also hear the name of Sidi Ali Harazim as well, because he was the main representative, also the secretary, also the ambassador, the inheritor. Whenever Shaykh Ahmad Tijani was around or not, Sidi Ali Harazim was the one who filled this position. So in the biography of Shaykh al-Islam Ibrahim Riyahi, you will hear also about Ali Harazim as well. From Tunisia, they went to Egypt to teach some of the people there, the Muqaddams who took the Tariqa Tijaniya. They also stopped in Egypt to teach as well. And many of the biographies of some of them will also hear some of Sidi Ali Harazim. There's a story that when Sidi Ali Harazim, when he left Fez, when Shaykh Ahmad Tijani sent him to the Hijaz, he gave Sidi Ali Harazim a certain prayer. There's some difference of opinion what this prayer is. Some have said that it is a name of Allah. It's a certain name of Allah he gave to Sidi Ali Harazim, and he gave it to him with the requirement that it must be read in front of the Rawda, in the Rawda of the Prophet ﷺ in Medina to Munawwar. When he was on his way to Medina, he was at Badr. Badr is the site of the first battle of Islam, where I think it's 13 companions of the Prophet ﷺ were shaheed at Badr, and it is a place that is very famous for the history of Islam. That is the place of the first victory of Islam at Badr, a place in Saudi Arabia, a town called Badr. When he got there, he saw many of the lights of the Muhammadiyya lights coming from that place. And on his way to Medina, he started to practice this name of Allah, because many of the names of Allah, the hidden great names of Allah, they're not in the simple Arabic as we see with the 99 names. Many of the great names of Allah, they are also Arabic, but many of them are non-Arabic in another language called Syriani. But whatever the case, he attempted to practice this name. So when he arrived in Medina, he would have perfected it. But one of the conditions was he could only recite this name when he was in front of the Prophet ﷺ in Medina. But when he started reciting this particular name, he had an experience where his soul left his body and went to Medina Munawwar to be at that spot where that name can only be recited or should be recited in the conditions that Shaykh Ahmad Tijani gave him. The people there that was traveling with Sidi Ali Harazim at that moment thought that he was like fainted or was just like fell out, and they actually buried him at that site. While in Fez, Shaykh Ahmad Tijani said to his companions, his people that was teaching, that was there while he was teaching, he said while he was in Fez, Sidi Ali Harazim, this is happening at Badr, Saudi Arabia, far away. Shaykh Ahmad Tijani said, verily they buried my companion alive. They buried him alive. They think he's dead, but he's alive. And he said if they would not have buried him, if they would have left him alone, they would have heard from him sciences that they will never see or never hear in any book or anywhere in the world. They would have heard sciences come from him. But they buried him in Badr. So if anyone goes to Badr when you make Hajj or make Umrah, if you ever get the chance to visit Badr, visiting the companions there that are buried at Badr, visiting that very historic place where that victory happened, you will also, if you like, you could visit the maqam of Sidi Ali Harazim. Of course, it is not marked. It's not like a maqam or anything that's marked where he's actually buried at Badr, but he's buried at that same place at Badr. Sidi Ali Harazim is also the author, as we said, the Jawahir Mani, but he also is known to have a collection of experiences that Shaykh Ahmad Tijani had with the Prophet ﷺ. It's well known that Shaykh Ahmad Tijani had many experiences with the Prophet ﷺ to the point where he was not absent from him. He was his only teacher. Whenever he did or moved or had any concern, the Prophet ﷺ was the one who informed him on what should be done, to the point where he was never absent away from him. And he had many experiences, very intimate experiences, that is documented by Sidi Ali Harazim in a book called the Mushahid, the visions of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, the things that he witnessed while he was with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Of course, this book is not a published book. It's a private note, like a kunash, that's had by some of the inheritors of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. But it is a book called the Mushahid that has the list, a notebook, like a diary of Shaykh Ahmad Tijani and his many experiences that he had with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is some of the biography of Sidi Ali Harazim. Sidi Ali Harazim. It is well known. It is recommended to know who this individual is because he was so close to Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. There's no way to know about Shaykh Ahmad Tijani without knowing his closest companion, Sidi Ali Harazim. Sidi Ali Harazim. And we will also, inshallah, tomorrow, one of the next, we will read from the ijazah that Shaykh Ahmad Tijani gave to Sidi Ali Harazim. And when we go through that ijazah, you will see the concern and the closeness and the love that Shaykh Ahmad Tijani had for Sidi Ali Harazim. May Allah be pleased with him. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق الناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراط المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره المقدار العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.